Hey everybody, Scott here from the Jostens Service Station. Ready for spring, finally? Well, here's our monthly fill-up for the month of March. Coming up in a moment, especially for spring yearbooks, but for everyone. Yearbook is done, so now what do? We've got some great ideas and advice from an award-winning advisor. Stay tuned for that. But first, let's start with some news. Yes, for spring yearbooks, final deadline time. Either you've just hit it or you're about to hit it, and the key words are hit it. Yes, you need to do that. If you want to make sure that your yearbooks arrive on time when you want them later this spring, you need to nail that final deadline. If you're having some troubles, of course, contact your Jostens representative. Now, in some recent episodes, we've told you about the annual Jostens Page Design Contest. Well, it turns out the company's decided this year to pause the contest, and here's why. First off, we've had a declining number of entries in recent years, and frankly, it does take a lot of man-hours to judge each and every spread. And perhaps you didn't know this, but the Jostens Lookbook, the new edition coming out very, very soon, most of those page spreads that you see in the lookbook do not come from the page contest. Instead, they come from schools who submit their entire book each summer. So, no page design contest this year. We'll check things out again next year. Now, once your pages are done, I bet you still have some yearbooks left to sell. And for fall book schools, of course, this is your prime time selling period. Better to sell them now rather than later. So here are some ideas. If you're a Jostens school and you have an active online offer right now, be sure to use our cool new Jostens QR code flyers. Hang them up in the best spots. Could be the bathrooms, could be the cafeteria, wherever students are going to see them. They scan the code, which turns it into a text message, helping you to sell your books. And then they send that text message to mom, dad, grandma, whomever, in hopes that they will buy a book. It's a great idea to use those phones that everyone's toting, so make sure you get those up right now. Don't have yours? Contact your Jostens representative. And then there's what I call the countdown sale. Make a big announcement that X number of books are left to be sold until they're gone, and then remind people how to get one. They may not know that. Then a few days later, check your numbers, update the announcement, and do it again. Now we have this many books left until they're gone. A few days later, do that again, and watch the frenzy begin as your procrastinators realize they better move now if they're going to get one of the remaining books. Remember, yearbooks do not sell themselves. Have some really fun marketing efforts this spring and watch them move. Well, again, for spring books, this is wrap-up time for the year, but there may be still 2 or 3 months left in the school year. What do you do in that interim time? Don't waste that time between now and either May or June. Put it to some good use. Recently, we talked to a veteran advisor who does just that, and she answers the question, books done, now what?
I'm Savannah Chaika. I'm an English teacher at Loyalsock Township High School in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and I'm also our yearbook advisor. We do several other things. So one thing that we've already started to kind of work on, even though we're still working on the book, is next year's staff recruitment. So I make my staff part of that process. So one of their assignments is they have to tell me a name of preferably 2 current freshmen, because we like to have someone that can be in there for years, to join the staff for next year. So they have to write them down, they have to figure out who their English teacher is, because I often talk to their English teachers about performance, writing, on-task behavior, diligence, that kind of thing. And then they have to write for me, my staff writes, why did you choose those? Do they have strong writing skills, strong photography skills? Do they have an interest? Are they involved in the school? So then we send personal letters and applications to those students that my staff picked. I also ask our teacher staff for recommendations for that as well. Try to figure out what the staff potentially is going to look like as the scheduling process happens for the school. And then in a couple weeks, I'll be passing out other applications too for any of our level 2s that would want to be in editor positions next year. So that's also an application and sometimes an interview process as well. I also continue to teach things, so anything I didn't get to at the beginning of the year when we had a little bit more free time to learn about some of the ideas and concepts of journalism and yearbook, we do some of that in April. So we'll do some photo projects, scavenger hunt kind of things. We'll refine some of our skills with cameras. We will do some more article writing. So we learned about news and feature writing in the fall, and then we'll do some more editorial type things that we wouldn't necessarily put in a yearbook, but as part of the skill of journalism, because that's an expectation for the curriculum for the course. We highlight our spring sports is one of the major things that takes up a lot of our summer. and we highlight the other sports throughout the year, so that would definitely feel sort of unfair to our spring athletes. We also do a whole spread on graduation, which is one of the favorite spreads that we get in the supplement, so we want to have that, time capsule pictures from graduation that they're not necessarily going to get anywhere else. We also put pictures from prom. We usually do a spread on our teams that went to states or districts or things like that, because sometimes with our deadlines throughout the year, that stuff hasn't happened yet. So we kind of use the main book as our regular season, what happened, and then any of our accomplishments beyond that in our sports seasons we'll put in the supplement. So sometimes it's like follow-up things from the book, and then sometimes it's things that just time-wise haven't really happened yet. So make sure we highlight things that happen in April and May of the school year. One of the biggest ways that we campaign for things in here are just school announcements, which sounds really simple and basic, but it's one of the easiest ways, especially morning announcements, to just make sure that everybody is paying attention. So we we'll write different silly announcements. We've done some contests before where if you buy your book between this date and this date, you'll be entered in a drawing to win a gift card to a pizza shop or wherever. So we do some incentive programs with that as well. We also usually hand out the in the book flyers with the pictures from students, and they love that. I've made the mistake of handing them out in the middle of my English classes before to students that I have, and all they do is look at each other's pictures and giggle. And then my favorite thing that we do is our distribution event. So we kind of talk about that all year to get into preparation for it, because it is a 40-minute presentation that we do every year. It takes a lot of planning, and the kids get really into it because it's something that the whole school is going to see. So we've already been sort of throwing around some ideas.
Thanks to Savannah for sharing what her group does when the book is finished. There's always plenty to do and prep work for next year. But that was only a small portion. To hear the entire 30-minute interview with even more ideas and advice, check out our podcast at the address shown on the screen. And don't forget, while you're there, to follow our Yearbooking Report podcast so you never miss an episode. Finally, for Jostens schools, do your senior yearbook students know about the annual Jostens Yearbook Scholarship? I'm going to assume some or maybe all of them are headed off to college this fall, and hey, everybody could use more money for that, right? It's a $2,500 scholarship only for Jostens schools. So check out the address on the screen to apply, but do it today. The deadline to apply for the scholarship is April 15th. No, I'm not doing the weather again this time. If you have no idea what that means, check out our February episode. But spring is here and there is a lot left to do, so let's go do it and have a lot of fun doing so. Thanks again for watching.